Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. I've got something on the table that's really sort of outside my normal stuff, but I am a big fan of the company. And if you go back in my videos far enough, you will actually find a very, very, very old video where I did, well, I'll explain. This is a Terrain 365 Balisong, and it is gorgeous. And if you go back in my videos far enough, you will actually find a video I did on one of their old ones, which was about this big. It was a little tiny Bali. This is the Terrain 365 Invictus Bali. It is carbon fiber and titanium. The blade is Terravantium, which I love, which means it is totally rust and stain resistant. This is a well-sorted and well-made Balisong. Now, Balis aren't for everybody, and you got to be careful because where you live, they may be illegal. Here in California, for instance, this is a no-no, and I don't care. It is very well done. It is smooth and comfortable, right? So let's talk about what you get. Now, these are, if you can find one, these are about $335, which is a lot of money for a knife. But Terrain 365 does charge a bit of a premium for their stuff. The Invictus design, this one of the companies that they design with, are always very good. This is definitely an Invictus-inspired blade, right? That shape. This is a really, just generally comfortable and useful cutting tool that also happens to be a Balisong. Has a very nice titanium pocket clip on it with plenty of spring and good ramp. It carries very well. You know, you got to be into these if you're going to want one. It's got tie back spacers on both handles, which is a really nice feature. There is no sharp edge exposed anywhere. It is running on bronze washers, so it's very smooth. And the action is pretty good. I mean, I'm an 80s kid, right? We all know how to do that, right? Not a lot of space here. What I don't know how to do is the fancy Balisong fancy stuff, so I'm not even going to get into that. This isn't so much a review as it is just a discussion. I really like this. I think it's stupid that they're illegal in California. This one in particular is gorgeous. I have a selection of their stuff. Let's do some size comparisons just for giggles. I don't have the original one that I did the review on, that little tiny one. I wish I did. That'd be fun. Here it is against a PM2. And a para 3. That should help you with overall size, right? Balisongs are interesting because they're a very old design. And companies like this keep making them sort of new and fresh again. Max Ace makes some excellent Balisongs. Let's get some measurements out of the way. All right, what do you get? Well, from tip to tail, we're coming in at just a hair over 8 inches. The blade looks to be, you get 3 1/8 inches of cutting, but you come all the way back here, it's a little over 3.5 inches of that Terravantium. I think I've said blade steel a couple of times. It's not. It is Dendritic Cobalt. Their brand name for that is Terravantium. Now, Dendritic Cobalt sharpens differently than steel, holds an edge a little bit differently, but its primary feature and function is that I could dip this blade first in salt water and it will not rust. And I really like that. In a world full of materials that are fantastic for pocket knives, and yet if you sweat on them, you're going to color the blade. I love Dendritic Cobalt, and I love their Terravantium. Grip area is, well, I mean, it's the whole knife, basically. So from way up here to way down here, we're talking about 4 1/4 inches. So anywhere you want. And the nice thing about Balis, particularly when they're shaped like this, is that it's just a totally neutral handle. Now, the pocket clip is part of that, but it actually, if you're going to hold on to this thing like a regular pocket knife, that pocket clip settles into at least for me, into the groove of my fingers, makes for a very nice grab. That's very comfortable. Well, I've got this thing out. You tell me, do you guys Balisong? Is that something that you're interested in? Do you butterfly knife, I suppose, as we used to call them when we were kids? Now, you can squeeze to release. See, it's not, there's it's interesting because there is a little bit of a spring in there, and I think it's broken. In fact, I know it's broken. I can see where this piece of the spring is supposed to be inside the lock, and that keeps it sprung so that when you do this, it pops open. Mine doesn't do that. I'll see if I can fix that. So do you butterfly knife? Do you Balisong? They're really a particular kind of knife, aren't they? I don't know. I like it. I'm glad to own it. I mean, for me, it's part of my larger Terrain 365 collection, much more than it is something that I'm going to carry around. But I got to tell you, as a fidget toy, and one that you want to be careful of, obviously, butterfly knives are fantastic. Where do we weigh in at? 4 ounces. Not bad for a knife that is this long and this heavy. I mean, this many moving parts. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. This is the This is the Terrain 365 Invictus Bali in carbon fiber and titanium, and their fantastic Terravantium blade material. It is a well-balanced, very functional Balisong that also happens to be an excellent pocket knife. If you have any questions about this or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. These are sold out everywhere as far as I can tell, but I will post a link to the Terrain 365 site, and I'll post a link to where I found the information on this so that you can look it up for yourselves. If you're interested, they're out there. If you're not, that's cool. I get it. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you've enjoyed this. Remember, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you next time.